is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we got? Well, we had a little bit of a pullback here. Apple jumped about $1. Unsure if it was just a level where people started buying, but certainly put, I'm going to see 3 points, maybe 4 points, and 4 points fairly instantly in the S&P 500. It's still trading, though, below, let me find it down here, below 220. As I said last week, I was looking for this to come down to 205. We may not get that 205 this week, but I think that's kind of the target that I'm looking for. And of course, since it's 14% of the Nasdaq and a big hunk of the S&P, and so many stocks are tied to it, and so many ETFs, wouldn't be a surprise to see this be the tail that wags the dog of the market. It's off about $4.30 right now. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but I just think it's going to be a very tough time for not only Apple, but Samsung over the next 6 months as we go into the 5G territory. And I think why most people haven't picked up on it yet, I think it's going to be in the news enough in the next, probably starting the next month, maybe 6 weeks. It's going to get into the zeitgeist. Oh, I love that word. Zeitgeist of everybody, and they're going to be talking about it, and people will be going, well, I'll just wait till the next phone. And I think it's probably a smart idea. That and that miserable notch, which I wouldn't buy a phone that had one in it. I got some nice clips here where Samsung has been going after Apple, and pretty brutally. There's some new ones, and I haven't been able to find them, but I've seen a lot of comments on them. Anyway, right now there isn't a lot of movement. Some people are saying that the Apple movement is based on trade restrictions, and I don't think I can buy that. I think it has more to do with something else. Maybe it's a good excuse. A lot of times there'll be an alternate story, sometimes called a narrative. That narrative is out there not to illuminate you or tell you the truth, but to give you a reason to believe something totally untrue that they want to push. Anyway, maybe there's some news on the tariffs. Maybe there's not. We'll see what happens in the next hour. I just don't see that there's a lot of juice for Apple. Looking at their rollout, the phones are fine. It's just going to be, why don't you buy the same phone a year, or not a year from now, 6 months from now, with 5G stuff in it? Anyway, we'll talk more about this today. But I think if you were looking for something overwhelmingly transformational in the Nasdaq, it's certainly, I think, the case for Apple. And you got a big guy behind this. He can move the stock at any time he wants. That's of course the Oracle of Omaha. But we got down to 218.67. This thing's maybe there's some people that are going to buy it every time it kind of pulls back a little bit. My guess, though, is that before you see a meaningful move higher, now it's probably a meaningful move lower to around 205, maybe as much as $200. Maybe that takes a little longer than I thought, but we shall see. I don't see any news out here, but it certainly looks like people are back in there and buying it up. Okay, other things going on. Wanted to see what the volume looked like today. We got about 3.5 billion shares as we start the show. And a whole lot, no, but kind of a weak move on Friday. And I think that put a little bit into what's going on here today. Of course, the other part of that is the dollar kind of pulling back a bit, at least earlier in the day. Now, I got to get it to come back up. Come on, there you are. 94.06, which are off 45 cents. So looked like a fairly decent break of the 95, at least for a little while. The government's kind of been pushing it around to 95, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're back at 95 fairly quickly. As we said, off 10 points on the S&P cash. That's 9.7 points. Dow's off 45. NASDAQ's off 72, which is about where we've been doing. To other things of interest, some of the stronger stocks that had the momentum have kind of turned around. Qualcomm's off 76 bucks that it hit on Friday. It's printing around 74, down to 73.40 today. Some of the other ones that I was looking at, we saw the XLE up to 74.88 today, trading 74.42 now, starting to go back. It looks like it could get back to unchanged by the end of the day. And other ones, well, I want to look at AMAT and NVIDIA also, if we can get everything else going here before rest. I only got a couple of minutes. So why don't we do a little history, and then we'll come back.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And what's going on today? Well, in 1996, NASA rolled out the first space shuttle Enterprise. It was complete except for the engines. They hadn't finished the engines quite yet. Enterprise, from its assembly facility to a waiting crowd, including the crowd, was a delegation of actors from Star Trek, the TV series. Of course, they changed the name of it from the Constitution to the name that the Star Trek fans loved. In fact, almost all of the people from Star Trek were there to rename the space shuttle as it came out to the Enterprise. Of course, it flew only once, and that was to prove that it could glide. Everybody was pretty sure that it was going to do exactly what it was supposed to do, and did so. They flew it up on a 747 and then let it fly can't even say that's a fly free. And pretty nice. It's on display down at the Space Center over there on the east coast of Florida. Almost a world away. You would think we're on the west coast. Almost a world away, though. Of course, it was a long time before the space shuttle actually did start to fly. And it was a giant, really boondoggle over 20 or 30 years, started by people at NASA who wanted to keep on going. The people in the military said it'd be much, much cheaper to fly individual rockets than build a reusable system. In the end, they were right. But there's nothing like bureaucracy. And someone wanted to keep their job and the ability to spend that money, and they did. The only good thing was we sucked the Russians into throwing a lot of money at the same thing. They never even got their one to fly except once. We'll be back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. TFNN has just launched a Tiger Dollar sale for one weekend only. Through Tuesday, September 18th, you can get up to a 50% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. Tiger Dollars never expire and can be used for any TFNN newsletter or service. TFNN has a new website launching in the coming weeks, and to celebrate, we're having a Tiger Dollar sale. For all the details and to get up to a 50% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase today, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this sale ends Tuesday. Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And as I said, Apple looks kind of interesting. Now, from a perspective that I like, you're getting the confirmation today of a Joe DiNapoli double repo pattern in Apple. As long as you close below about 223, 222, I think you're going to be just fine on this. We'll see what happens. I don't see a lot of reasons to come into this. I do suspect that we could break the lows by the end of the day and go significantly lower. Options have never changed and showed lower prices. So that is always got to be something that I'm nervous about come options expiration. Normally, if they're off, they'll start converging fairly quickly with the price of the S&P. They have not done that for about 10 days. Not uncommon to get a fairly big snap. And, I mean, options actually are way, way lower, which also makes me a little nervous when we're that far away. But again, normally when they're that far away, they start converging rather quickly. I'm just not seeing that. And that also adds to my idea that maybe there is something out here that could snap the market, get us to much lower prices where I feel like I could go long again, or hope that I could go long again. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, Apple. 10 to 15 days above the 3x3 or 9-day moving average. We certainly have that. Let's go back here to the displaced moving average. You've got the same thing pretty much in the 3x3 displaced moving average. And you've got the close, as long as you've got the close the next 2 or 3 days below, let's say 223, 224 in that area, you're going to complete that Joe DiNapoli pattern. That's 10 to 15 days, he says, but I've seen it extended a lot farther in the last 8 years. A couple of days underneath that displaced moving average or 9-day moving average, a couple of days above it, and then a close back above it. As long as it remains below that, you can stay short, at least for the signal. If it goes back up, it's another deal. But keep an eye on that all the way through the rest of the day. We're sitting right at 220, and we'll see whether or not buyers before the end of the day can change that. We're basically off 9 points on the S&P cash. Our smartphone sales prior to 5G. I think, we get into about 6 weeks from now. Samsung's got a couple of new things they're going to be talking about, and that is the new foldable screens that are going to be all gee whiz, whiz bang, Star Trek tricorder kind of whoopee. And the other thing's going to be people are going to start talking about find phones with 5G, and I think a lot of people are just going to go, you know what? I'm going to wait another 3 months or 6 months. I'm just going to get a phone that's got 5G in it. Don't really know what 5G is. I do, but I just think consumers are going to go, I don't know what 5G is, but everybody's talking about 5G, and I got to have 5G because I'm in the big time. I'm so much larger than life. Yeah, a few people know that reference. I'm a big boy with all the big toys. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, you've got the pattern out here, and the pattern is as long as you stay below the 9-day moving average or 3x3, Apple is for sale. When it starts coming out of that or above that, then you can look at covering. But I like the move back to the 205 to 195 area for Apple to settle into some level of support on any kind of pullbacks that we have fairly early. I don't know why I've got an engineer that continues to tell everybody that he's going to be cooked by the 5G RF energy in the air. I guess he doesn't know anything about 5G, because if he knew anything at all, he'd know that the power is a whole lot less, or will be a whole lot less, than what we have now. There are antennas that, because they'll be able to actually change the beam right where you're at and follow you around, they're going to be significantly less power in the air than was before for each connection. So overall, maybe are there more? Yeah, but when you're talking about the current cell phone technology, 5G is going to be able to be like 1/10 in a lot of applications of what it is for a current smartphone. So overall, is there more? Yeah. Is it collective? No. It's not additive. So supposedly, if things work out exactly like they say, there's actually going to be a whole lot less RF energy, not a whole lot more. I don't know. We got people in here that I guess just not going to go and even look at the Wikipedia page about 5G, but it's good. Anyway, other things going on. I haven't looked at it for a while. Got a question out here about IBM, and I don't see a lot happening in IBM. This thing going sideways out here. You're going to go back out. They have one big play, and since they only deal with Fortune 500 people, it's going to be extremely hard to find out whether or not they get any big sales for Watson or the quantum computer operation. I talked a little bit about quantum computers on Friday and why, especially for things like weather, climate, other things that literally have horrible predictions now. One of the reasons I discount a lot of climate people is almost all of these things have a level of chaos. And that is that wherever you start your calculations for these things, if you say for weather, change your calculation one day earlier, one day later, over a 14-day forecast, you will find that you have wildly differing results. And if you want a good answer that you want that confirms your bias, just start a day earlier, a day later. That's all you have to do. So it's kind of easy to be self-referential in those things. But if you want to model something that acts in a nature's way, you need something that actually calculates in nature's way, and that is quantum computing, and that's just now getting started. I had another question about Friday that I wanted to get into, and that was one person asked me why it is so much easier to break existing cryptography with quantum computers. And there's several reasons why, but I'll give you the easiest one, and that is frequency calculations. Almost all Germanic English languages and other languages have one combination, and that is double letters. Double Z's, double S's, double T's. And that means that if you add everything up, the ones will always be less than the zeros. And that small statistical edge is enough to get in and start rooting around cryptography. We'll talk more about this in a minute.
The path to trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
I've got a headache. And my engineer is, I don't know where he's been, but I think maybe he hit his head. I don't know where all this hogwash comes from 5G hating, but apparently somebody needs to go back to school, starts spending some time in their physics class, because none of it's true, which is kind of weird. And it just drives me nuts sometimes. I guess everybody just wants to believe the worst, the end of the world kind of stuff. I I guess it's easy to sell. I don't know. Beyond me. A lot of other stuff going on. As we said before, we wanted to get back to the semis and see how they were doing. We're just now starting to get into some levels. Of this. Applied materials, you had kind of a little bit of a breakout here to 37.39. We said that's kind of where we were starting to look at as it broke. What is this? Let's go to 2. Let's go to 2 years. There it is. There's a little ledge right back here with a gap that's been filled, but that gap is on April 19th. 13.4 million shares from 2017, April 19th. And the bottom of that gap comes right in at 37.45. That's where we've been waiting for this thing to come back in. So you went underneath that by 6 cents. You're kind of just hanging out here. You have 17 million shares. What you wanted to see is less than 13.4 million shares. And that's what has me kind of worried about the whole SMH thing right now. And the fact, as I said, it's more of a theme. And that theme is that there's a few things in smartphones. And that is, one, they're getting very incrementally better. They're evolutionary, not revolutionary. And, you can make them faster. You can make them better. But a Lamborghini that goes 210 miles an hour to a Lamborghini that goes 215 miles an hour, that's $50,000 more expensive than the very much slower 210 mile an hour Lamborghini. Does it really make you go out there and say, okay, I got to trade up? That's one problem. Qualcomm threw what most people in the industry call a spec monster. And a spec monster is just literally, we're going to put the biggest processor we can in a phone. We're going to put in the largest display. We're going to put in the most amount of memory. We're going to do a lot of other stuff like that. And that's got to make us through till the time that we can start honking our horn on 5G and foldable phones and all the other stuff that we're going to start selling next year. There's the old saying, sell what you got now. If you've ever been in retail, sell what's on the floor. And there's a bit of that. Oh, I forgot to get back into this, and we'll get into it. But certainly, is this it? Yeah. Oh, there's some pretty hysterical ads going on between Samsung and Apple. They've been doing this for a while, and it makes fun of the guys behind the Genius Bar. But I love this one the best.
Can I still use these headphones with the 10? Yeah, but you'll need an adapter, or as most people like to call it, a dongle. A what? A dongle. A dongle? Yeah, a dongle. It comes in the box. But what if I just need to charge at the same time? Then you're going to need another type of dongle. Like a double dongle? Yeah, like a double dongle, I guess. That sounds explicit.
Oh, I love that one. Anyway, kind of interesting to see them go at it over on YouTube between each other. And of course, both Apple and Qualcomm are going after what they think are the influencers. And the influencers are, kids who say, hey, this is hot. And the adults think that they want to be cool too, so they're going to buy whatever they're going to get. But to me, it is problematic. Now, a question in the den is, Qualcomm erupt and leave a short-term island top pattern? I think, yeah. At least I'm thinking that. I think this thing could pull back into the 60s. We'll be watching it. I think long-term it's fine. In the short term, though, I'd love to see this thing kind of pull back. There's going to be some kind of date, probably a few months from now, when this thing pulls back, and then we start hearing the drum beats of 5G again, and it starts having the kind of run like it has had. We did buy this back around the $55 level back in June. in the Tech Insider. We sold it on Thursday. I wanted to sell while they were yelling. We bought while everybody was hating on it. It did a nice, huge extended ABC. In fact, if we do an extension on this, let's take a look at that. You'll see why I went ahead and sold it, which is we already went up to basically the 1 to 1.5 high. So could it go a little bit more, 76, 77? It could. But I think that's just getting a little greedy. So we went ahead and sold it. We'll look for a pullback. You can see that nice gap. It's going to act as support probably somewhere between 61 and 65. And just set your alarms. I think it's got a nice move. Hopefully that answers John from Philadelphia's question. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can put something in the newsletter, in the email at path@tfnn.com, something in the den, or you can call me at 877-927-6648. We'll continue to keep an eye on these markets. Kind of plopping around right at 28.95. And I got to say, I'm kind of nervous here. I've got a out of the money call. So if everything falls to apart by Friday, I'll make some money. If not, I won't lose any more money than I would have if I was trading the equity. But then I also don't have to worry about it gapping away on me. I'm kind of fixed because that's the only position I have right now, which is a option on the downside if the market decides to take a header. Other questions out here. Just look through out here. Got a question on the gene editing stocks. GRSP. I covered this a little bit in the Tech Insider on Friday. We had some huge wins on this earlier in the year. We've been waiting for this thing to consolidate and come on back. There's legal issues that are working themselves, well, through the courts already. And now there's got to be some kind of agreement. But I think you got a little bit of time. $45 is pretty much support on these things. We got kind of close a couple of times, but I still think there's one more time down there past 45, even maybe we'll be back in a
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. The Taz Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the Taz Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Taz Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the Taz Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
The notch, right. Doesn't the notch cover up some of the screen if you watch a movie? Not in the default view. Yeah. But what if you want to fill the screen? Oh, you just... voila. There you go. It does still cover up some of the movie. Yeah. No, not a lot, though. Yeah, a little bit, though. Significant enough portion. I mean, it takes time to get used to it. What's going on over there? Oh, no. They come here all the time.
Anyway, interesting ads from Samsung poking fun at Apple. But true, I won't buy a phone with a notch. I don't understand it. Still don't understand it. Won't buy a phone with a notch. So I think there are a lot of reasons to kind of wait until some of the stuff gets taken care of. Anyway, we were talking about gene editing stocks. Almost all of them kind of look this way, pulling back with lighter volume. But again, a lot of legal issues to be handled, and I'll be covering those in the Tech Insider. Okay, NVIDIA, got Paul who wants to look NVIDIA, INVDA. Okay. Holding up big upgrade discussions over the last 2 days in NVIDIA. They continue to own, as a monopoly, the machine learning space for machine learning hardware. That will change over time. The thing that's amazed me is how poor the competition has been. Intel tried to get into it. It doesn't look like they're going to have a big solution until 2020 now. Which isn't good for Intel, although they may have something better that kind of puts a big hitch in the get-along of NVIDIA. Boy. Anyway, NVIDIA looks kind of good up here. You've got the same kind of problem, though. That is that NVIDIA closes lower here in the next few days. You've got to really watch it now. NVIDIA is always, each day in the newsletter, I have the daily newsletter, I have a list of the stocks that people are shorting the bejesus out of it. And almost always on a daily basis, it's NVIDIA. Man, do people short the bejesus out of the stock. Let me see what the last few days are. Looked at it this morning, but I can't remember that long. It's started to come off a little bit. We've seen days where it's been as high as 25% and 28% over the last 15 days. When people stop shorting, that's a generally good indication that the shorts have kind of given up, and a lot of times the squeezes are over on it. That's what I'm kind of starting to see in NVIDIA. Again, with these kind of patterns, of above and below, kind of the Joe DiNapoli double repo patterns. One of the things that you want to do is just say, okay, I know that the pattern's out there. Rarely do you just gap down out of this pattern. Almost always you just close under the line, get a few days, it kind of makes a right shoulder, and then the destruction happens. And of course, anybody that looks at this chart could say that NVIDIA could make it all the way back to 220 bucks. I don't know that it's that weak, but certainly that gap is the support down there at about I'm going to call it about 225. Energy did kind of come off compared to the previous leg up from June 2nd up to the 285 high. I would not short it. I think if NVIDIA falls, you're going to find that the stocks that haven't been as strong as NVIDIA are going to pay the piper a lot worse than NVIDIA. And again, just way too much short, just way too high a short position. What do we got? 15.4 million shares short in NVIDIA. It doesn't have that many shares compared to some of the other big cap stocks. So it is fairly high percentage, but that has been falling, and it's pretty significantly falling. So I would say this, if you've thought about NVIDIA going lower, or if you've been long NVIDIA and you think that there's a chance, don't have to do anything, just put a stop. You don't want to see this thing close below 270. In fact, maybe 273 or 4. So this thing pretty much needs to go to 300 from now to negate that bearish pattern. So you're going to have a couple of days to go take a look at that. Okay. Question about Google. Let's see what the question is here. It's more political. I'm going to say the question from Rob is, I'm going to tell you what I see, though, in Google that troubles me. And that is not so much what they're doing politically here in the States, but what they're doing. In fact, many of the companies that are getting highly involved in China, Google's going back. If you Google the Dalai Lama, two things will happen in China. If you are a guest of the country, you will be told it's time to leave. If you're not a guest, you'll be taken back to the political re-education camp. Google has been working very hard with the Chinese to help them out in both censorship and finding the deplorables. I guess that would be the deplorables of China. And this, to me, kind of smacks of, I mean, these people are being taken to camps. Some of them aren't coming back. And that's, I mean, you can talk about what's going on in this country a bit, but to be a party of that, you know, it's kind of leaked out a bit. People kind of know that they're doing it. They're getting, I think eventually there are going to be some people talking up about this, but it is highly problematic. They, you know, they're going to be known as the people that collaborated with people like the Chinese communist government. They left voluntarily. They're kind of trying to get back into that market now. I suspect that we're going to find out the same for many other companies out there, that they kind of say one thing in this country and it doesn't really quite matter over there. But I think eventually the word's going to get out. And it is, to me, kind of like, I'm going to say CMG, when they were poisoning their customers with salmonella or whatever was the problem out there. It takes a long time to come back and get your reputation back. That they would do that over there only tells you what they might do here in the States. And there is a political overhead to all the China business. And it's kind of came out, I don't know, a week ago or so, handful of folks. But to me, man, all those dystopian books like 1984 and Animal Farm and Lord of the Flies. And it seems like these guys in Silicon Valley are just knee deep in it all. It's problematic, just like Facebook is. We'll be back.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. Just looking at a few other stocks. Got a question on a stock we've been talking about for a while, GNRC, which is, of course, been running because everybody needs a generator when the power goes off. Had a little bounce out here today, but the volume's kind of light. My guess is this thing's probably going to continue to sell off over the next couple of weeks and fill this gap down to 56. Got up to $60.70, and that was kind of the blow off top. That was going to tell you that why the storm was going to be bad. Some people were going to have their houses flooded. It wasn't going to be anything like Florida had last year, or what we saw in Puerto Rico. Storms come in all sizes, and just remember when the next one comes, take a quick look at GNRC. It's going to tell you probably a lot more about what's going on in the weather than the Weather Channel. Everybody had a good time this weekend making fun of the Weather Channel. If you didn't see it, it's well worth watching. But there's a Weather Channel reporter, and man, is he working that the winds are strong, and he's getting beat to death. And two guys kind of calmly walk right behind him, about 10 feet behind him. A lot of trying to spin the story by the Weather Channel, but you know what? Question authority, even if it's the Weather Channel. Everybody's got an axe to grind. Everybody's got a bias. Don't be, anything other than skeptical. You don't have to be mean about it, but everybody's trying to gild the lily one way or the other. Just keep an eye out for it, especially in a political season. It's better to just take a deep breath. We're off 10 points on almost 11 on the S&P cash. Dow's off 48. NASDAQ's off 77. I am kind of nervous out here for lower prices across the rest of this week. Keep a close eye on Apple. I think that's the big deal right now at 220. So when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.